Hello everyone, apologies for the delay, and welcome to my Race into Space RP-0 playthrough. A bit delayed today, but nonetheless still occurring. So, we are 68 days from basic capsules. We have to get science from that thing that's orbiting the moon. And we also get to build our film return satellite. And to do so, first let me check when do we get service module anyway? Life support. It must be like general construction or advanced construction or something. So yeah, no, there was another library KSP event today, so that is why those of you watching live are watching it live like 4 hours after I normally stream. So now I believe that I've fixed entry cost modifier, but apparently not for the LR79. That's interesting. The cost should be 0 because we already own that one. I hope that that does not hold the case for that doesn't hold true for heat shields. Wait, it doesn't have an entry cost? What the heck? Oh, that's SSTU. That's why. Where are oh, they're over here. That's why. Wait, we don't have basic capsules yet, do we? Right. Well, I could be cheeky and just do a... I could use the X1. As long as it has a heat shield, it would probably be fine. But I'm not going to be cheeky. Let's see. Which one of these do I actually want? Because, like, 20K. Guess I want this one. It's quite small. It's a fitting size. Oh, and we need to add some sensors. Go away. There we are. Science. Science. Now the problem... Yes, the problem is that this is way too large for what we want. So we're going to have to get a larger thing anyway. So orbital perturbation sensor. That looks centered. Science. Okay. Ooh, did we ever take... we didn't take advantage of 1.2 science transfer. Interesting. I have to do that for RP-0 as well. Attitude jets. Where are the little baby ones? Right here. hydrazine, TL1. Let's put rather less in here. Fill it with some hydrazine. That's a fair amount of hydrazine. We probably only need about that. Well, hydrazine is cheap. And we don't care about... Oh, no, that's too heavy. Oh, but we haven't rejiggered the parachute yet, that's why. And chat taught me to hit this more than once because it's counting itself. Oh, and I need to set it for wet, I think. Where's wet? How much heavier is this going to get? Not much heavier, because the heat shield is quite light. Okay. We're going to turn off staging on the heat shield, because we don't actually want to get rid of it. Okay, so we called our reentry thing Fire B. This one we're going to call Fire Bug, because it's a spy satellite. Heh heh. Right. So we're going to design. I guess we're going to go ahead and unlock that engine, the XLR81 engine. Because why not? Where's the SSTU version? There's the SSTU version. We're going to go with the pretty one. Switch, mount, no mount, close. All right. That's a pretty engine. And we're going to unlock the... Ooh, that's expensive. That right there is pretty expensive. Do we really want to do that? We could just go with Delta Avionics, which is cheap. How long are we circling the Earth? How much do these? 120 watts. That's a lot of watts. 250 watts. But they can... avionics can power down to 10 watts. And these can't power down. Well... And we have crap for solar panels. We would be hard-pressed to have sufficient solar panels. See if I have some random things hiding here. Nope, I don't. As I said, we would be hard-pressed to have sufficient solar panels to actually power our... Honestly now, I'm tempted to... All right, so that's working for entry cost modification. But for some reason the engine didn't. I don't know why. It's weird. Maybe the subtractors work, but the multipliers don't. I don't know. Because I'm now reconsidering, and I'm wondering whether we should return the film camera and the Agena avionics and put all that under a heat shield. Because they're expensive. I mean, it's not like we don't have the lifting capacity, so why the heck not? Let's consider that option. Oh, except I have to... Right. It's a lot of moolah. A lot of cash. All right, so we need this. And we're going to disable staging on the decoupler, enable crossfeed, make it 1.5 meters. Put the film camera under it. Oh. Tarnation. We don't have a correctly sized heat shield for this thing. Where's your center of mass anyway? Right there. We don't have a heat shield large enough to work for the ARG. Well, doesn't that stink? That stinks to have it. So yeah, we'll have to lost the 800 funds for the Gina Avionics, I guess, which is really quite tragic. So back to the original idea. But we will use the larger heat shield. So that just cost me 4,000 funds for deciding to do it that way instead. That's obnoxious. Well, but it's okay. So crucially, let's make sure we're not statically stable in this orientation. We're almost statically stable. Heh, heh. All right. Well, that's not what I wanted to see. Oh, that's sort of useless in terms. So we can't even control orientation anyway because this thing is too heavy. All right, so fine. I will make this thing even more expensive. Because why not? But at least we can have this only do avionics. We don't have to put any battery in it. Now where's the center of mass? That's better. But we will have to make this a little heavier. And, you know, just for sanity, I think rather than relying on KJR, I think I want to strut this. I mean, we'd probably be fine, but also it sort of looks better this way. Although, oddly, oh, you can't, nah. That's going to go through the heat shield, but whatever. Oh, I know what I can do, I think. Nope. You can't alter the destination orientation like that, I guess. So this is already 4 million space bucks, which is shockingly expensive, and is going to make this launch vehicle take a long time to build. Obnoxious. Disable staging. We have KJR, so I'm not going to mess with rigid attachment. Oh, why do we have 3 of you? That's better. Okay. So, okay, hopefully that RCS counts as not. Ferrum, why am I not putting them on the top? Because they're denser. So I need to keep the center of mass low. Because if you missed the FAR simulation I ran before, it was actually more stable flipped than now. Ugh, and we're over our mass limit too, even with 2 cores. That's tragic. Oh, because we had to spend 50 kilograms to add the extra core. So this is actually a fool's errand anyway. Yeah, see, now it's actually statically stable. Hypersonic. Whereas I am fairly sure, and this will verify, that were I to do it in the opposite order, I would no longer be statically stable. But let's find out, just for the sake of argument. Yeah, see? As I expected. Because I did actually test this before. So it's actually a problem because, so if it's not going to be controllable anyway, there's no point in having any RCS. Now it's like just barely static. Well, no, that's bad. The white line is the AOA sweep that FAR is doing. See, it starts at 0 and then it goes over to 25 degrees. You can see it from this side better. All right. Blurgity, blurgity, blurg. How the heck heavy is that thing anyway? 300 kilograms. So yeah, we'd have to use like 3 of those avionics cores, and that would make this thing indescribably expensive. So, like, technically, I guess I could just get away with the sounding rocket core on this then. And that will also improve our aerodynamics. Oh, but no, I need this to... Oh. Yes, I need this to take the experiments, to transfer the experiments. So yes, we do need to use this core, which is obnoxious because it costs $1 million funds, and we're not even going to use its actual ability to do avionics. But it is what it is. All right, and let's recalibrate our parachute again. Let's get rid of the hydrazine, which is no longer useful to us. All right, now let's go ahead and build our Agena upper stage. What are we going to call this? Well, I was talking about dogs and cats. So, where did I put my cat breeds page? So that AJ10 stage is going to be the Abyssinian. B, we can call it the Bengal, for Bengal tiger. Or I guess Bengal is a type of cat. Anyway, Ferrum procedural, yes, sadly I can't make a sphere cone. Now, it would be particularly fitting to make a sphere cone heat shield because that's what the film buckets actually used. But we can't really do that. Chicken swag, why would I have 2 heat shields? That's just wasting mass. We need it to orient properly in one orientation and have it stay in that orientation. I mean, that's sort of the fundamental question of this design. So let's So we'll do this, which is sort of stupid, but it'll work. Oh, just close far and make sure that, yes, that sensor is still there. All right. All right, now we're sufficiently statically stable that we're going to be okay. All right. So we're broadly going to use this as our model. 1.5. This goes up to, we can finally use default on it. 1.3 should be good. This goes up to 1.5 and is default. Technically the Agena kind of used, it didn't quite use balloon tanks, but it was light enough that it's, the Agena was really impressively light. There's a single tank. There's a single tank. All right. The Agena was a really impressive, and it was, I think it was common bulkhead too. Because there's no temperature difference. Ferrum, yes, you, as you should be ashamed that not just that it works at high, that it works at high Mach numbers. Because subsonic flow, you'd expect it to work, but at hypersonic flow, you would not expect that to work. But I'm going to take advantage of it when it does. So we're gonna let All right, so we're gonna use the Wonder if I have the Agena secondary propulsion system under engines. Probably not. And this doesn't have... No, that doesn't have the... That does not have the SPS in it. And I don't think we can get... No. Because this is the sort of situation where we kind of need the SPS. Anywho, let's put the Agena avionics in. Where did we stick them? I think we stuck them... Did I delete them? Maybe I deleted them. Get a new set, I guess. Let's get rid of this for now. That. This is tank type default. Top. It's like 1.4. And here's our engine. Let's move it upwards. That's looking nice. Did we upgrade this to hydrazine? No, we did not. We must have done that for the lunar mission. Hydrazine. 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 And we need to shrink these quite a bit. That's probably not quite, because Lamont was talking about 15 total, but we're going to actually have to do some reorienting and probably some spin stabilization. So we're going to go with about 20 liters of hydrazine. Okay. Oh, right. Clicking madly, and it was because I was in that mode. All right. So up we go. Nope, there's still a little tiny gap. Mind the gap. Okay. We need to... You're kidding me. Sound and Fury told me that I could get both Agena configs from this node. He was not correct. That's really bad. Requires basic construction. What the heck? We have basic construction, don't we? Yes, that's literally what we get the heat shields from. Okay, something's really weird here. Don't we have basic... Oh. I thought that's where the heat... Okay, what's going on here? How do we even have the heat shields? Oh, because they're in survivability. Right, right. Okay, we don't actually have basic construction yet. This makes much more sense now. And we're getting it after basic capsules, which is problematic. Right, that's why we don't have balloon tanks, and that's why we don't have service modules. That makes much more sense. So, after all that, Oh yeah, and I need to action group that thing. Hmm. Yeah. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Grumble, grumble, grumble. If you're so Grimnir is asking, is RP-0 updated for 1.2.2? It's about to be released. Everything else has been released. You can get it from GitHub and then compile the tree yourself, or get a copy of the tree from somebody, or even use the tree from the last release if you want. I mean, there hasn't been that many changes. How are we doing on tech? When will we get basic construction? We'll get basic construction 35 days later. That's not the most viable of things. Oh, I can, right, we do have a lot of science, so I can at least go ahead and oh, have we already gotten that? Apparently we've already gotten that. The heck is required for hydrolocks that we don't have? I don't think staged combustion is required. That's a weird issue. What the heck does hydrolocks require that we don't have? Early hydrolocks and technologies on research requirements, but we just researched that. And it's literally what requires mature orbital rocketry, which is right here, and we just researched it. So why is it not unlocking? It's 60 points. We have enough science. That's seriously, seriously weird. Let's go back in and try again. Basic construction. General construction. Mature orbital rocketry. Oops. Get the highlight back. Early hydrolocks engines is not letting me research it. That is a really weird bug. That confuses me deeply. And that's totally what I want to spend the science on. And that's literally the only thing it requires. Let me just verify in the tree CFG that that's the only thing it requires. Where did I? CTG. Early hydrolocks engines. Oh. No, we're creating the node fresh. So literally the only thing it should require is advanced rocketry. Cost 60. All right. That's a weird bug. That's a super weird bug. That's the weirdest bug I've yet seen. Man, that's actually kind of a show-stopping bug. If I can't unlock hydrolocks, I'm kind of screwed. Anyway, that's depressing. I have no idea why that's failing. JPL, I literally just checked the setup, and that's the only thing it requires. Because it's a freshly created node, we're not modifying an existing KSP node. And the only requirement is mature orbital rocketry. Maybe a KCT bug where it's not fully unlocking that node, in which case that's sort of bad. All right, very short Agena stage. That's not a lot of delta V. Indeed, it's not a lot of delta V. Yeah, see, like, obviously this is the stage that I wanted to make, but yeah, Lamont, mine always had in the past. I'm wondering if it's just if I quit KSP and restart it, it might fix it, but I kind of don't want to do that in the middle of a stream. And it's not mission critical to get that node. What is an issue is that we can't burn this engine for as long as we were planning to. That is a issue of considerable import. And we'll get fairly crap delta V from using that AJ10 here. And I really don't want to bother with the RDO 105, which is also fairly crap. When does this contract expire? Well, I mean, we want to launch the sun synchronous thing, so I guess we should do it. So I guess we're back to using the crappy engine that we thought we could get away from. So over to fuselage again we go. It's 4 minutes. That's really not much better than 34:58. It's really not much better than the other thing. But I'm going to go with it because we know the engine is reliable. So yeah, instead of launching what I'd hoped to launch, which was basically a Thor Agena, we're gonna have to launch a full Beagle under it. Oh, no, that's the fairing version of Beagle, which we're probably never going to use. Oh, no, we don't need that. We just need the regular one. Top 1.5. All right. Well, that's fairly obnoxious. And this is going to be quite expensive too, because it's like double the launch vehicle I thought I would need. How are we doing on delta V? Oh, we have tons of excess delta V, so we can do a quite sharp descent. Yeah, so this is what we're going to have to do. It's not what I would like in the slightest, but it will have to do. So we'll launch one of these. And we'll take that sun-synchronous contract. Which I guess we already have we? Yes, we have. Deadline, 53. 53, and lunar landing is also 53. All right, but we can, I think, launch our lunar lander quite soon. So let's also get that building. Should be able to do it with hydrogen. Where's Selene 4? All right. So you're going to get the launch vehicle we just built. You're going to get this done to you. And where's science? Science micrometeorite detector. And barometer. Because these are all things that we can only do once per situation. They're not time dependent, but landed will be in a whole nother situation. We're only going to put one solar panel on here. And I think we only need 2 of these. Well, we'll go with 3 antennas. Okay. Now, so that's all well and good. Need to shrink this puppy. Because we're going to need some, where are the cubic struts? Oh, they're heavy. They're 2 kilos each. That's obnoxious. We need some landing legs. There. That'll work. That puts us... Oh, we're still not even over the limit yet. Awesome. All right. Now we need to put this on. Come on. Come on. I want it attached to the thing that I actually want it to attach to. That's weird. There we go. All right. Baby Sergeant. How much delta V does that give us? Hilariously little delta V. Hilariously little. We could really use a kick. Oh, yeah. We need to stick with solids because I was going to put a liquid kick motor on here, but we can't ullage things. So why would we? Yeah. Oh, actually, no. This is fine. We will be able to ullage things after all. Gold foil. Okay. And an XASR1. Oh. Heh. We could just put 1 kilonewton thrusters on here, couldn't we? But they have lower specific impulse than the XASR1. That's too much. Whoa, no, 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 no. We have extra burn time, but 50 seconds should be sufficient. All right. That's almost half a ton. Let's see how far we can throw that. That's probably too much. It's almost definitely too much. Oops, we need 2 of these. All right. Oops, fairings are in the wrong stage now. Right, let's calculate this out. This is way too... All right. So, yeah, there's no way that's going to be sufficient. So we definitely need a bigger launch vehicle. So let's try the one from Selene 4. The Bulldog. All right. Now let's see what the staging. Oh, and I haven't adjusted the kick staging. Yeah. So that decoupler needs to... Oh, yeah, that's bad. Actually, I want to stage them together. Okay. Now let's look at this. That should work fine. So this should just work. This should, in fact, just work. Because these 2 stages are enough to get us... No, this is not going to work at all. Because I provided enough delta V to land if I were in lunar orbit. I ain't. I'm coming in from a transfer. So there's another 700 plus meters per second on top. So let's look at what happens when we expand this. Is the delta V going up by a lot? Yes, it is. It's going up by quite a lot. I think it's a minute. Rated burn time, 1 minute 5 seconds. So 1 minute 10 is redlining slightly, but otherwise okay. Except now suddenly that's no longer quite enough for a transfer. And this isn't enough to place us... Well, no, that's just enough to actually place us in orbit. But this is now suddenly no longer enough for a transfer. And this, 33,700, so that's just enough to land, but not enough for... Yeah. So we need to somehow squeeze a little extra performance out of this stage. All right, what if we remove the retros? That gives us 30 meters per second. What if we decrease our hydrazine supply slightly? That only gave us 5 more meters per second. All right, we're going to redline it by a few seconds. And we're going to trust that that will be okay. I hate customizing stages. I hate it. That'll save a couple kilograms. We put this back on. It's getting a little tight. All right, well, there's plenty of delta V to land at least. When does that stage? That should stage here. Let's survey the numbers. $93.65 vacuum delta V. I think that it will be okay. And we have to use this because we have to use the Agena avionics unit, which is heavy. It is kind of heavy. It's 228 kilograms versus this, which is only 140 kilograms. It's 80 kilograms heavier. Because we need to last all the way to the moon, because we need to use this stage to provide ullage for this thing. Ullage and orientation. Technically, I wonder, technically, whether we could get away with using the Able Avionics unit on this stage and having some solids for ullage that we decoupled instead of staying attached to the stage. But that would mean that we would have to commit to an orientation before we left the Earth. So I think I'm going to prefer this. This is fairly expensive. I'm a scaredy cat, so I'm going to stretch this out a little bit too. And go for an extra 10-second burn there. That makes me feel somewhat more comfortable. That will give us plenty of delta V to get to orbit. So yes, this is fiendishly expensive, but it's how we're going to have to do this thing. Now that I trust that hydrazine will be sufficient. I really trust that hydrazine will be sufficient. Because we're going to need to spin up apart from any orientation duties. But I think we'll be okay. So, yeah. Let's commit to an early lunar landing. Yes. Fortuna Audex figure. You bet, actually. So, JPL, the contract time, we still have a year, so I think it's going to be fine. Wait, yeah. Yeah. Man, it'd be nice if Kerbal alarm clock actually, or the date actually showed here. Oh, hey, JPL, you do these things. Be nice if you put the date here. Because that would be useful. Unless you've already done it for 1.3. And I don't know it. But all right, so we're doing that. We're doing that. Doing that. And we're waiting on capsules. JPL date show in mission control. Because if you turn on the show contract deadlines as dates option in game settings, it'd be nice to know what your current date is here. Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay. Now, sadly, this episode seems to have mostly just been a build episode because I could really only stream for about an hour. It's already almost midnight. So this was just queuing up the builds that we need to do, and I need to quit and see if I can fix the stupid tech node issue. And also I need to deal with that polar orbiting lunar satellite and get all the science. So I'm going to call it quits here. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm sorry this was so late. I'm sorry this was just building, although I tend to find building is more fun than flying, but that's just me. And hope to see you tomorrow at a saner time. So, cheerio.